get things started. Ready? Go!
Hello and welcome to Bounding into Comics. My name is John Trent. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief at Bounding into Comics. Today I got a story about Johnny Depp's bodyguard, Travis McGivern, testifying in a Fairfax County, Virginia court that Aquaman actress Amber Heard punched Johnny Depp in the face back in 2015. McGivern's testimony comes after Amber Heard fired her PR team in the wake of a number of bad headlines and bad press for the actress, resulting from testimony like McGivern's. So we're going to talk about McGivern's testimony first, and then we'll talk about Amber Heard firing her PR team. Beginning his testimony, McGivern identified himself as a security professional for over 16 years and that he's worked for Depp for over 9 years. He's still employed by Johnny Depp. When asked to identify how he would describe the interactions between Depp and Heard, McGivern answered, "It would depend. Sometimes they were super loving, super happy, and then the next they could be arguing. Initially, when I first started working down at the lofts, things were cool more than moving forward. Things got a little more volatile the longer they were there." He then went on to detail that Depp and Heard began fighting almost every other night after the two returned from Australia. He said, "I would say nightly, but every other night, several times a week, there would be arguments." From there, he explained that the arguments were primarily verbal, with, quote, Mr. Depp wanting to get out of there. He had lots of name-calling, lots of F-bombs, a lot of you-know. And then he said it was typically Miss Heard directing her feelings toward Mr. Depp. When asked to provide specifics, he revealed there were times when Miss Heard called him a effing deadbeat dad. If I can say that, I apologize to the court. Effing washed up, effing C-word, you name it, she spewed it. Later in his testimony, McGivern detailed one incident where he arrived at Depp and Heard's penthouse following an argument where he attempted to extricate Depp from an argument where the two had been yelling at each other. He said, "The argument continued. There were moments of kind of normal conversation, peaceful conversation, but then there were also moments of yelling and anger from both of them. At some point, I witnessed Miss Heard throw a Red Bull can." After providing details on how the penthouse was designed, he then reiterated, "I saw Miss Heard throw a Red Bull can from her position that struck Mr. Depp in the back." The argument would continue with both of them hurling insults at each other, according to McGivern. He then said Heard began throwing more objects at Depp. He said, "At one point, Miss Heard threw something else, either a purse or some sort of bag that she had up there. I was able to knock it away so it didn't hit him. At one point, she spit at him, and just a lot of verbal vitriol from both of them." He then revealed after Heard exited the building, Mr. Depp decided to, quote, rearrange Heard's closet for her, threw down probably every rack of clothing and shoes, threw at least one down the stairs. Yeah, he was upset. Both Heard and her sister Whitney returned to the building, where McGivern detailed he decided to remove Depp from the building, and as he was in the process of doing so, Heard struck Depp in the face. McGivern said, "I felt it was time to get Mr. Depp out of the situation, so I stepped in between Miss Heard and Mr. Depp, telling Mr. Depp that we were leaving and it wasn't up to him anymore. At that point, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a fist and an arm come across my right shoulder, and I heard and saw a closed fist contact Mr. Depp in the left side of his face." When asked whose fist it was, he answered that was Miss Heard's fist, Amber Heard's fist. He then detailed what Johnny Depp's response was to getting punched in the face by his wife. McGivern said the initial look on his face kind of mirrored mine, kind of a look of shock, like what just happened, where'd that come from? At that point, I wasn't going to let Mr. Depp get hit anymore, so I moved down the last flight of stairs to the lower level and told him we're leaving, like it wasn't up to him anymore, just for his safety. Again, I had let him get hit by a Red Bull can. I let him get punched. My job is to ensure the safety and well-being of my clients, and I felt that I hadn't done that. So it was my time to do my job and get him out of there. McGivern did detail that Depp blamed him for getting punched by Heard, recalling, "Mr. Depp was not pleased with me. Naturally, he went into the bathroom for a couple of minutes. Miss Lloyd talked to him, and they came out, and they agreed it was time to leave. So as we were leaving the front door, Mr. Depp got right in my face. He was wearing sunglasses, maybe not sunglasses. He was wearing glasses, pulled them down, pointed to the left side of his face, and told me, 'That's your fault,' and I agreed, and then we proceeded to the vehicle, and we left the lot." When asked to describe what he saw on Depp's face, McGivern said, "There was already a nice little shiner. Definitely swollen and red. It wasn't black and blue yet. It was definitely swollen and red." McGivern's testimony mirrors the testimony he provided in the United Kingdom. He said, as part of that testimony, "At some point, approximately 30 to 45 minutes after my arrival, Miss Heard threw a full can of Red Bull that hit Mr. Depp in his back." He further testified, saying, "Miss Heard also tried to throw her purse at Mr. Depp, but I deflected it midair. Approximately 10 minutes before we left, I witnessed Miss Heard punch Mr. Depp in the eye with a closed fist. Heard previously admitted to striking Johnny Depp in leaked audio tapes that were obtained by the Daily Mail back in January 2020 and have subsequently been aired in the Fairfax County, Virginia courtroom. In the clip, Heard is heard saying, "I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. I was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched." McGivern's testimony comes after the New York Post reported over the weekend that Heard fired her PR team, Precision Strategies, quote, after getting frustrated with the press she's received since her bombshell defamation trial kickoff last month. A source told the New York Post, quote, she doesn't like bad headlines. Another detailed that she is, quote, frustrated with her story not being told effectively. NBC News reports that Heard has now hired Shane Communications as her PR team. So Amber Heard seemingly doesn't like the way things are going if she's hiring a new PR team. And from all the testimony that we've heard, and granted that it's all been from Depp's side so far, it does not look very good for Amber Heard. And it also doesn't look very good for Johnny Depp. I mean, he's exposed a lot of his bad behavior, but I think the fact that Heard is claiming that she was some kind of victim of domestic abuse is it doesn't look like that is coming off as she claimed in the Washington Post, and that she insinuated that Depp was the perpetrator of said abuse. It doesn't look like that was the case. In fact, we're hearing more and more that it was Amber Heard who was the one who was physically abusing Johnny Depp. But let me know what you think about this. What do you think of Travis McGivern's testimony today? What do you think of Amber Heard firing her PR team? My name is John Trent, and you've been watching Bounding into Comics.